All right, and let's get going. Hopefully, we won't have too many screaming kids because I'm hearing them making noise now. We're going to be picking up. You guys can chime in, ask questions. There are no stupid questions. There's stupid responses, but there are very few times I've ever hit a stupid question. Uh, yeah, I can't think of an example even. What we're doing now is unless you say something different, I'm just going to pick up something just because why not? We're going to show making a grandchild class using what we did last time, which was the media link, right? It's just a link, it's a URL. And instead of using media link, what if I wanted what my Google Drive has? I don't think you see it down here. No, you don't see it down here. I have backup and sync on Google. I also have a backup and sync for my OneDrive, the Microsoft one for the university. And the OneDrive has a really nice synchronization feature that, you know, you will see in other places as well, where you'll have a local file, you'll have a URL, you'll have a remote file. They go in sync with one another, and they can go out of sync. And if they're out of sync, you sort of need to know that. You need that particular flag. So you have a link, you have a URL, but you also have a local file. So that's what I'm going to be doing now. It's going to be, instead of the media link, it's going to media link with a little bit more. It's going to be one of these linked files. It's one of these synchronous files. So that's, I need something. I need something that I can extend media link from, because we made this up last week. So take a media link, I'm going to expand it a little bit. Just going to make a child of that class. So it's a grandchild of the media class. I'm also going to implement find for these functions because why the hell not? Okay, that's the plan. Okay, so I'm going to make this thing. I think, what did I call it? Did I call it sync file? Well, actually, I think I have a name here. Okay, media library, media collection. Come on. Media collection. Oh, I should have this here. I think I just put it in here. Let media library out. That's my output file. Oh my God, I literally just put it down. So that's embarrassing start. Where the heck is this file? I put it in. I'm just looking for some place where I put in the name of the file because I want to make sure the media collection. I'm going to make it up again and figure out how to make it work. Okay, we're going to make a brand new class. So I'm going to add a new class. New class is the easiest way of doing it. And it's going to be a child class of Media Link. So I'm going to call it, what did I call it? I wrote it down. Drive Link Media. I'll call it Media Node. Sync Media, maybe. SyncLink Media. So let's call it, the other one's called Media Collection Media Link. Okay. Media Sync Link. So synchronized file. Okay. I'm going to take media. I can't type. All right. Media link. So here is my media link. It's that's the parent class, which is a child class of media. So this is a child of a child, a grandchild. I'm just gonna make this same. All right, let's actually see what the heck this thing is. I named it. I modified my file already. So here is the file that I'm adding. I just added one more line because why not? It is a sync file. So media sync file. Did I call it media? Hey, I call it media sync link. Okay, that's fine. So here is a media sync file. It's a kind of link. It's a grandchild. And this is Go the F to Sleep, narrated by Samuel L. Jackson. If you haven't seen the video, have a look. It's a YouTube video normally, but I'm going to have it as a local file as well because I can. And let's put a 2 in there. I think that's too small. No, that's a perfect. Let's put a 2 in there. That's the size of the file. Here's the URL for it. I'm making crap up here. Here's the actual, or here's the file path, the local file path. The genre is it's a link. So it doesn't really have a genre per se. We could make genres later on. Here is the URL itself. That's the actual URL for the link if you want to look at it. And whether I need to sync it or not, yes or no, let's say. And please don't mind the profanity. I think it's this word. Should have said profanity. Okay, just one more type of file. But it should look almost exactly like what we had for a link. We have a link, it has a name, it's a file size, which is 0 for links, it is a file path, which is not applicable for links. Now it is applicable because it's locally stored. I have the genre, which is still a link. I have a URL, which was definitely in the previous version. I have a description, which was in the previous version. I got one more file that I didn't have before. Just one. And that is whether it needs to be synchronized or not. Okay. So here is a media sync link. I want to find media link because I'm just going to be lazy again. And I'm going to, let's take these things. I'm going to only take two. I need those hard-coded strings that I had in the other one. Why? Because useful. Okay, and what did I call these things? Here's this file. Okay, called sync file. And the special new field I didn't have before is needs to sync. Notice I can have spaces. There's nothing prevents me from. I can't have tabs in this thing, but no problem having spaces in here. And so the first I'm showing that you can have spaces in the word. Okay, it's going to have a media link. I'm going to have media sync link. I'm assuming I'm going to have. Last time I had a string tab text or something like that. I had the constructor. Did I have a destructor? I think I did make a destructor, but let's just check it out. And where's my destructor? I have a constructor. I don't have a destructor at all. I have a toString, which is, I have a couple of virtual functions. And then I have a couple more virtual functions. I'm just going to copy all those things down. Why? Because I can. Okay. All right. So I'm going to have a virtual function called toString because I need to change how this thing outputs. I'm also going to have a virtual function called find because that's a function I'm going to be implementing. I'm also going to extend that. I'm going to call the original version of find, the parent's version of find, and then I'm going to do a bit more searching. Actually, do I need that? Let me think here. I don't actually need to change find. I'm going to be looking for things like the author's name, the file name, the something in the URL perhaps. But there's nothing in my find. I'm not looking for numbers in my find necessarily. I'm not looking for the size of the file. I could if I wanted to. If that's what I want my find to do, go for it. Have at it. I'm not going to be looking for true and false or yes and no because that's not a really crappy thing to be looking for. You could, if you want to, go for it, but it doesn't really make sense, right? Doesn't need to be synced. I'm not really doing a search for needs syncing. I could have it search for yes everywhere or search for needs sync yes or something like that. Some way of checking this, but I'm going to leave it off for now. So if that's in fact the case, I actually don't need this at all. I'm just going to use the parent's version of the class. If I don't need to do something special, get it the heck out. I don't need it. Okay, get the URL, get the description, get it the heck out. I don't need it. The parent's version of that is all I need in here. Get the media type name. I do not need that function. What I might need, let's make another one more function here. I need that one. Get the media type name. Like, is it a sync file? It's what do I output the text file later? I'm also going to need the set field info because when this text is coming in, if I get one of these pairs, I need special pairs. So if I get words here, needs to sync as one of the parts of the field, one of the parts of the field pair. So if the field name is needs to sync, I need to check yes or no. Otherwise, I'm just going to read in everything the way I did before. Okay. I want to double check some things along the way, but for the most part, I don't need to do anything else. I'm going to need to implement all these other functions. I'm going to have one other function in here, which is I'm going to have Boolean, and I called it something, is in sync. You do not have to sing like Justin Timberlake for that one. Yes, that is an old joke. Uh, does this file, is it in sync or not, right? If it needs to be synchronized, then do something. Maybe I want to synchronize it, but maybe I just want to record, hey, has it been synced yet? Or is it out of date? If it's out of date, when I store it to the file, I need to go get it off the server. Again, this is just me making up random willy-nilly examples. Okay, so I'm going to have that function. That's it. Oh, that's all I needed. What did I do? Copied, I think. Did I do it again? Okay. Control C. There we go. It's fine. All right. So media sync link. Here's the header file. I want to also save all because what the heck. I'm going to, I need to get rid of these virtuals because that doesn't go in the CPP file. It's really, I need to say, by the way, for the class media sync link, here's a definition of toString. For the function find in media sync link, here's a definition of find. If I don't re-implement it, I get the old version. I don't have to do anything at all. If I don't say I have something special, a special version of this function, leave it alone. That's the power of object-oriented development. That's the power of inheritance. I don't want to do any more work than I absolutely have to. I want to be lazy. You can too. Okay. I don't need this protected stuff anymore. I'm just, there we go. This one needs to be special just because every single should. If I don't do this, what's it going to output as a file type? It's going to keep saying it's a link. It'll use the parent's version of this function. If I don't override it, it's going to keep on returning. It's a link. Hi, I'm a link. That's not useful. I need, hey, I'm not just a link. I'm a synchronized link, synchronized media file, media sync link. Better term for it. Okay, I'm going to replace this. And again, if I was actually writing this code for an assignment, I would be putting comments in, especially considering not for just the TAs, although it helps for the TAs, it helps for you. If you did this a week ago and then start looking at this again, you were going to forget. If you were working on this earlier today and at 2 in the morning when you're doing this tonight or whenever you're doing it, if you ever do an all-nighter, you will find out how many stupid things you do in the middle of the night. Like I made a pact with myself after burning myself enough times never to work all-nighters unless it was something purely mechanical, like I've edited the document. I need to just put in the changes because you just make stupid decisions and you reverse your code or change your code, break stuff, and then can't undo it because you're too damn tired. And no amount of coffee solves that. Anyways, that's personal experience. So here we go. These are the different functions I'm going to have. I want to make sure I'm going to call, I need to do I have the media, actually, I already have it in copy and paste. Media think link, the constructor, have string, and I think, what did I call it in the other one? I want to make sure I keep it the same name, just makes my life easier. Oh, I'm missing it. I'm missing my constructor. So string, um, I want to look at what the heck I actually called it in the parent class first. So I'm going to make a constructor. I want to check what the constructor is named. So I'm going to go to my medialink.h and just tab text. Okay, better name. There we go. And there we go. Okay, so what do I want with tab text? I have a bunch of I have tab delimited text. What this thing is doing is it pulling off the entire line of text. This thing right here, this entire and there, that entire thing. That's what I'm getting as input. And I'm going to pull off individual parts one at a time. I'm already doing that with all my other classes. I want to do a little bit extra stuff, but I don't want to reinvent the wheel. I'm just going to rely on the parent class to do everything right. And then I'm going to make a little change. Okay, that's all I'm doing. It seems like I need to save my file over. All right, I want to do the parent class version of this. So I want to say media link, the parents version of the constructor tab text. That's what I want. I want to call the parents version of that with that constructor first. That's the first thing I do. And then afterwards, I'm going to do whatever other stuff I want to do later. Perfectly fine. Hasher, is MediaSyncLink the child of MediaLink? Yes. That's the point. I wanted to show a grandchild. Okay. So let's see what MediaSyncLink does, because I think I need to, or MediaLink does. Let's have a look at what this thing does. I have the URL, I have a description, I have extract fields. Okay. I want to keep on calling extract fields every single time, so that's fine. I have another, do I have any other fields that are unique to this class? I think I might. What about that is, I got to double check what it looks, what the name of it is. Do I have, oh, I don't have that variable. I want to put it in a variable. It's for this thing. Media's, what's that? No one caught me on this one. I was wondering what I was thinking. Like I kept on typing Control V and not seeing weird crap happen. What happened? I kept on wiping out my old corrected version of Media Sync Link with Media Link each and every time. Okay, I got to fix this again. What I had before. That's why I lost the constructor as well. So here it's Media Sync Link. It's a part of Media Link. I'm going to Media Sync Link is there. Toostring needs to be overwritten. Fine. Fine needs to be overwritten. No, it doesn't. We said that earlier. I also don't need this thing down here. I don't need the URL. I don't need the description. And I don't need a new version of find. I'm not looking through the text any differently than I did before. So maybe that's not the best example. I have a predicate class, get media type name. Great. I might, what I do want in here is I want a Boolean is in sync to check to see if the file is synchronized. That's the other file, the function I put in there. I also want a private. What do I want in private? Well, I want some kind of Boolean is in it's synced, maybe the name of the private variable. It's whether this thing has to be fully synchronized or not. If the file on the server is newer than the file local file, then I want to wipe out the local file. If the other way around, I want to replace the one on the server. I'm making something up here, so it's not really going to work in reality. It's a proof of concept. So this thing is checking to see if the local file that I'm storing on my computer, like if I use a Google Drive, like if I use OneDrive, like you have access to, if the local file is in sync with the one on the server. Hopefully that's going to work. So all I did was revert it back to what I did earlier in the lesson. I accidentally wiped out my old text. Okay. Do I need to get URL? No, I can get rid of that one. I can get rid of the find as well. Get description. I might need to move all these things around again. Get media name. That's new. Okay. I want this is synced. Get media type. I got that. Got that. This is the one thing I haven't implemented yet. and I'll implement this. And what I could do is just return is sync. There you go. That's a very elaborate function. Hey, are you in sync? Yes or no? That's it. All I'm doing. Okay. That's the one file. That's the one variable. The one member variable that's new compared to what I had before. At least I think it is. I'm gonna double check everything because the file size should be from the media file. The file path should be from the media file, from the media class. I got to double check that as well. Okay, toString. I want to call the parents version of toString and then just tack on one more field at the end and done. That's what I want to do. In an ideal world, that's all I want to keep doing. Just use the parent, don't reinvent the wheel, add a little bit. So here's is distinct. I need some kind of default value. So let's say false, but I want to set my variables to start some starting value. And then I'm going to call extract fields just in case that one field doesn't get set. I want to set things to safe values. But before I do that, I'm going to call the parents constructor first. Okay, how does this one work? I'm going to get a string link text, let's say, okay, is equal to media link. So I can call the parents version of that function. And then I'm going to string call the parents version of that function. And then I'm just going to tack on the end. I'm going to tack on, do this tab. And then I'm going to have, oh, that's what I should do. Here we go. Needs to sync the file name description. Let's use a single character. Easier to do concatenation plus. And then I need the, I'm going to need one other thing. I need the yes or a no. So string is sync. And I could say that it's equal to this, yes. Otherwise, if it's synced. Oh, let's do it this way. Set it to no. And if it is in sync, if it is synchronized, then is synced text is equal to yes. That'll work, right? All I'm saying, I'm just keeping a piece of text around to say yes or no, rather than true or false or something like that. And then at the end here, I'm just going to put is synced text. So it should say is filed is in sync colon yes or colon no. That's it. Let's compile it, see if that is going to work. I don't know if it's even going to compile yet, so I don't want to get too far ahead, code up everything, and then find out it doesn't compile. Ah, not necessary to call the parent constructor, but it'll bite you in certain cases. So in this case, I want to call it directly because if you do not call it directly, can you imagine what the default is? Or think about what the default would be. Oftentimes, there's a default. For C++, there's a default constructor. If you don't say which parent constructor you're going to call, it calls a default one. And I've done that mistake so many times I've lost count. And I said that to you, Kevin, yesterday, but I feel like I'm doing that all the time. If you don't call the constructor explicitly what one you want, you'll get the default. The default is the one without parameters, the blank constructor. And if you don't have a blank constructor, it'll give you an error saying, whoa, there's no blank constructor. If you have a blank constructor, you'll just call the other version of the constructor. You won't call this one, or at least from my knowledge, you won't call this one. You will not call the one that takes in text. You'll take in one that takes in nothing, and everything will be blank and not set up necessarily. The nice thing about this, you'll call the blank constructor, you'll still call extract fields, which will still extract all the fields again. So you're probably not going to even hurt yourself in any way, shape, or form in this case, right? I'm calling extract fields, which will go through all that text again and pull out all the fields all over again. I'm going to be pulling off all the fields over and over and over again. So that might actually be a smarter way of doing it. Have a blank constructor and have one that's not a blank constructor that calls extract fields. So when you get to the right grandchild or great 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 grandchild, it only calls extract fields one time. It sets everything up to default values, and then you only call extract fields that one time because you're always calling the blank constructor without the text on the previous versions. That would actually be a better solution than what I did. So there's a million and one ways approaching it, and it's actually it can get overwhelming the sheer number of options you have. Or I could do it this way, or I could do it this way, and which way is the best way? I don't know. Neither way might be the right way. Okay, so in my case, I'm calling the parent constructor. I also like showing that I'm calling the parent constructor. But if you're calling a blank constructor and it works, great. Yeah, there you go. Nice. And now your version of it, though, only calls extract fields one time in the child class, which is actually better in that case. So great. I'd say leave it alone for right now, but you should know how to call the parent constructor with a particular version. Okay, so here's my parent. Here is me calling the parent's version of toString. Notice I could even call media's version of toString if I wanted to. If I wanted to just bypass the parent and go straight to the grandparent, I can do that perfectly fine. You can't in Java. You can't do that in some other languages. You can in C++. Okay, and then I'm going to add this synchronous text. I need to figure out what this is here. That's not a problem. Media type link. Oh, it's not media type link. Media type. That's what I want, actually. I need a new variable name. Why? Because I'm going to be returning something else. And it was able to find that problem for me. I just copy and pasted it. It's not called media type link. That's a different name. That's a link. This is a synchronized link. Okay. File name description. I don't want file name description. It's not file name description. Just copied and pasted and missed all this fun stuff. Can't believe I missed all that. But that's why we love compilers. You may not like them, but I am a messy programmer and I need them. There you go. I want that. Right? I want this thing saying, yes, it's synchronized or not. I want a separate variable for that field. We got things that need to return values. This thing needs to return a value, so return that'll work. That doesn't do anything. That doesn't do anything. This I need to return. Then that. Let's see. Notice this is not going to work correctly. Because when I go to extract all my fields, because I haven't set up this thing down here, I'm going to be missing a couple. I'm going to miss one field exactly. Let's double check that we're going to miss one field. Why not? So I'm going to run it. Hope to go. Oh, I need one other thing. I need to make a media sync link object. So in media library, I do believe there was something at the end where I said, hey, yeah, let's change these things around. Okay. If m type text also need to make a new variable type. Return new media sync link tab text. I need to make one of these things instead. This thing also needs to be media sync link. I want to fix this one first because let's copy this. Here's me being lazy. You can actually go to the definition. Go to the definition of this. Media type link. Oh, I'm just doing a text string comparison. So it would be if it's equal to media type sync link. Okay. Oh, that is the name of it. So if this is a string, if it is equal to media type sync link, then I'm going to return a new media type sync link. In order to do that, I need to know about this media type sync link, which is probably right here. I told you I put it somewhere and I couldn't find it again afterwards. There it goes. I need to make sure I include that header file somewhere. So, because I need to know about the media type sync link. I need to know about this grandchild class in order to make one. Can't make one if I don't know about the parameter, the class. So I'm going to not just include the media library and the media link, but I'm going to include this. Fine. Media sync link. Oh, did I change the name? File name. Okay. Problems here. So declared at line 10 is inaccessible. What does that mean? Let's figure out what my bug is. I know what the bug is, by the way. You're going to make mistakes all sorts of places, but the key is to not be overwhelmed, not be panicked about it. Just go like, yeah, I'm just going to take a couple extra. You build into it like driving through traffic. If you have to drive into downtown Ottawa during rush hour, or drive on the 416, you build into your expectations. Oh, this is going to be a pain in the backside. It's going to be like getting a root canal. You know this. So we want to do the same thing. We want to avoid rush hour traffic by not doing all at once, do a little bit at a time. And we also want to methodically just go through and what do we have here? This is going to be a pain, right? So let's look at it. It's inaccessible. What the heck does that mean? We had something about accessibility. We had this like public, private, protected thing, right? Oh, let's look at our media sync link. Public, private, protected, not public. I need to have this stuff public. Let's run it again, see what happens. And I can't access the member variable. Maybe this all goes away after this one little fix. It all went away with one little fix. I always forget this, right? Every time I do this copy and paste, I always end up forgetting this. And I just like, oh, it's inaccessible, meaning I can't look at it, meaning it's either probably not public then. Look at public and private. Look at if you included the file. Just methodically go down your list of what could be causing this kind of problem. I don't have access to it. Or it says this function doesn't exist. Well, let's look at the definition of the function. Let's look at if my CPP file has this right. I always type that wrong. Okay. Let's look to see if my include file is working correctly. That's the kind of thing I want to work through. Okay. I have it running. Let's run it. Let's see what happens. Why not? It's going to be completely wrong, by the way. Awesome. Okay. It's going to call extract fields here. Oh, it is seeing itself as a media link. That's interesting. Why does it think it's a media link? Oh, because I have the right file name at the front. So it's making the right object type. It's not going to read in the files correctly. It's going to miss that is synchronized part. It's going to do everything else because it's going to get things for free from the parent class. but I'm not going to get that is in sync part at the end. All right, let's have a look. Here is my media type. Go the F to sleep. Okay, here's the file size. Hey, that worked. Here's the file path. Hey, that worked. With magic, I don't know what the extension for YouTube video is, but we're going to call it YouTube link YTL. Uh, Here is the URL, actual URL. Here is the description. That worked. Hey, the needs to sync actually worked. What the heck? Oh, the to the to string, not this one. The to string worked like a charm. That's what we had here. The to string colon, is it synchronized text? No matter if it was said it was synchronized or not, it's going to say no because that variable was not set properly to begin with. So we have a default variable. That default variable is no. In fact, let's try this because we can. Let's change this to, okay, let's do it to no. Is synced. I'm going to make that equal to true. We're going to default it to true. And what you're going to see here, I didn't change the file at all. And it's going to say yes next time. Okay, let's run it. All right. And yes, I didn't change the file. It's clearly not working. It changed based on the default that I put in there because it's not looking at that field at all. Everything else working fine, working for free. I didn't do squat. I didn't have to do any of the extra work. I just have one field that I want to read in properly. Okay, let's do that. So I need to modify this thing. So this thing needs to go get media file type. Oh boy. Let's have a look at this. To the output, media file type, there is no media file type either. That's right here. This is my output when I go to export the file again. So it reads it in fine, but when I output it again to the screen, it's all wrong because I didn't overwrite this. I didn't fix this function either. Okay. I want this thing here. And I just want to return that. I could have done this a different ways as well, right? I could have had a string, the member variable for the media type, for the media class, the parent class, and that all the children just modify that string. And so when you ask for the media type, you just return that same variable each and every time. That would have also been just fine. I chose to do it this way, which is I have hard-coded values. I have a constant strings that I'm keeping around, and I just return that constant string. So this, when I run it, should have the media type output correctly. Because now I'm using this thing. Let's look at this. Sync file. Yes, there you go. That one's working. One more part. I need to do this thing right here. That's the last function I want to work on this. So I'm lazy. I don't remember things. Memory of a goldfish here. So let's try. Let's go to my MediaLink.cpp and see what I did then. And then I want to look at find again. I'll go over find one more time. Okay, so I go through different fields. And for every field, I see if the field name is something I'm looking for. If it is, set a value. Okay. Oh, I also want to call the parent version of that function. Okay. So I'm going to call my parents, not medias, but the media link version of that function, which then calls the media version of that function. So this will call another function, which will call another function. That's fine. So essentially, as I do it, I'll do the media version of the reading off the elements. Then I'll do the media link version of reading off the elements. Then I'll do the media sync version of reading off the elements. It's inefficient, absolutely, but it's going to work at least. There are better ways of doing it, but you can try you could have always tried other approaches. Okay, the thing I'm looking for, it's not this. What I need is this file needs sync. What I want to see is if that's the field, the file needs sync is, where is it now? Get to the end of the line. Needs to sync. It's this text right here. If the field is named this, I want to see if it's a yes or a no. And in fact, yes or no is not true or false though, right? So I need to figure out, I want an if and else statement in here. So if field pair dot f value, if a string is equal to yes, and maybe I shouldn't be doing it that way. Maybe I should be doing it. Uh, maybe I should be doing it a different way. But let's try it this way. I have is synced. So if the value is this, then I'm going to say is synced is equal to true. It is synchronized. Otherwise, no matter what, if you said, even if you say Y, it's going to say it's false. Sync equal to false. It's not synchronized. And I didn't spell sync right. And CED. So all this is doing is it the text word yes? If so, is synced is equal to true. Otherwise, set it to no, false. So I'm converting from yes, no to true, false. That's fine. It's a design decision, a decision I made when making this file. All right. And do I have to do anything else afterwards? No. So every file that goes through, it'll be processed here or in here. And yeah, everything should be working. Let's have a look. Okay. Okay, please run the square words. Needs in sync. Yes. Okay, well, we got to change that just in case it's wrong. So we don't know. What does it say? Needs synchronization. Yes. Okay, we better change it just to be on the safe side. It should work. Let's change this back to need sync. I'm going to say false. Program. Okay. If it still says yes, it means it's working because I'm setting the default to no. And unless I see a yes, it's going to stay no. Here we go. Still says yes, despite its the default being no. It means it's finding that field correctly. Yay. It's finding the word yes. Yay. And it's setting the parameter to no, to parameter to true, as in it is in sync. And then when I'm printing it out at the end, it's checking that parameter and spitting out yes as a result. You can always double check your functions, right? I might want to have some kind of pass in different strings of text into this particular function just to make sure it works as expected. Okay. Let's look at this find thing. So I'm going to make sure I've saved everything. Let's see if we understand what find is actually supposed to be doing, because I had some questions earlier in the week about find. What is find actually supposed to do? So, for example, here's the find. I did a control F. I got a find dialog. It's not exactly the same, but it's going to be similar-ish. What I want is, it's actually closer, maybe, to this, which you may not have seen before, you may not have tried before. This right here. I got to move it over. It's open on my other window, in my other browser. This is find in files. Find in files is this button right up here. If I need to copy and replace every last instance of some kind of variable, let's say, this is one approach you can take, where you can go through every single file and remove this piece of text with this piece of text and just replace everything. replace in files. Take this text, replace it with this everywhere, see if it's case sensitive. So whether it's in a CPP file, an H file, and a .text file, whatever file you have, if you have that variable name and you replace it with something else, it'll replace it everywhere. Don't do that to cheat, by the way. It doesn't help because Moss doesn't get held up by that sort of thing. It doesn't check to see if text is exactly the same. Moss checks to see if the compiled code looks the same. That's what we use for check testing, by the way. So if I'm checking for all the files in a find and file, what am I doing? I have to go to each file and check each file, right? What I'm doing with this class is I'm going to go through every single file in my library, every single media file, no matter what kind of media file it is, and just say, do you find someone named Jackson in here, in any of the fields? And what you want it to do is say, yep, got one, yep, got one, yep, got, or nope, don't have one. Each of the media files tells you if it has the word Jackson in any of its fields, whether it's in the URL, whether it's in the description, whether it's in the file name, whatever the case is. It's up to you how you want to implement find, but it's looking for some text in every one of the media files. For each media file where it says yes, we're just going to add it, make a collection of new media files together. So let's look at what a collection is first. Media collection. Okay, the maximum collection size, default maximum collection size is 40. I don't know if you've actually noticed what I did here. Maybe you are intentionally not looking at it. That's fine. What is this actual class doing? I have a default maximum. As in, if I add more than 40 different media items to this collection, what I wanted to do is I wanted to double my array and put the more elements in there. So I should be completely unaware how big this array is or how many items I'm storing. It should feel like it's an infinitely sized array, but arrays don't do that. So as soon as I get to 41 elements, if I try to put a 41st element on this thing, I will double the size of my array, add the 41st element. Well, if I get past 80 elements, double the size of my array, becomes 160, add one more element. I just keep doubling the size of my array and adding one more. That's what I want it to do. I might want it to print a collection. Here's a collection, print off all the individual elements. I'm already doing this. I'm already calling that function. I'm calling it whenever I run my program. I just take the collection from my media library and just say, print all your items out. Here's me outputting a collection to a file. That's in an output file stream, an OF stream, an output file stream to this collection, and it just puts all the information for each of the media files into this output file. I could clear it, as in I can remove all the elements from my collection. I can set the main collection. So this is a kind of a little hack around. Is it the main collection? If it's the main collection, I want to delete. Otherwise, I don't delete. The problem with we have with collections is I have all these pointers. So if I have an array of pointers, which is actually what I have here, it should be here. Here you go. Is an array of pointers to media files or to media objects. AP media, an array of pointers to media. What I might want to do in some cases, if it's the main collection in my media library, when I delete the main collection, I want to delete all of those media objects. If I have multiple collections pointing to the same media objects, I don't want to delete the media files when I delete the media collection. That's what that little hacky workaround that I have here is. It is if I set them, this is the main collection, I have a true or false is the main collection. If it's the main collection, then I will delete the files when I delete the collection. If it's not, leave the media files alone, just delete the collection. This is just me working around things. And that's why I didn't have you write all of this stuff, because it gets convoluted. Here's the maximum size of my array. If I run out of space, I double it. Here's my media file. It's the array of pointers to my media files, and I can always make that bigger. It's dynamic. Here's the number of media files currently stored. That's different than the maximum. I may be able to store up to 40 things, and the actual number I'm storing is 5. Right? It's like I got a notebook, and I've used the first 5 pages. How many pages does it matter if is there a difference between the number of pages I filled in and the number of pages in the notebook? Heck yes. Right? When I run out of pages in my notebook, I need to get another notebook. In this case, if I want to use 5 pages, I need to know the difference between I've used all of them, all the pages, and I've just used 5. I need both numbers. So we could use a vector class. We could use all sorts of different things. But in this case, I just have an array. When I run out of space, I double it and move everything over. It is just an array for all intents and purposes, where I can add to the array, I can print off the elements in the array, I can clear the array, I can get individual elements in the array. That's it. So my media library, let's see, media library.cpp. Do I have that find in here anywhere? Create media, that's going to create all my files. Extract field index, no, extract field name, export the library, print the library. I might want to find in here. I think I needed to find in here, right? So let's spell find in here. All right, to do find the find functionality. So I don't want to give away answers, but I'm going to anyways. Uh, I haven't implemented find yet, so let's implement find. In giving away, it shouldn't look like this in your actual code because it means you just copied it from me. Okay, that's the string I'm going to find. I want to make a brand new collection. So to do one of two things, but I sort of want to call a new media collection. So this is no, I don't know what my assignment said, so I'm just improvising here. But I wanted to return a media collection when I'm done. It could be null if there's nothing at all. It might have multiple things. And it's going to return a media collection at the end. Okay. So here's my media collection. I'm going to make a brand new media collection. Found media. Okay. I'm going to break brand new media collection. I'm going to return it at the end. What I want to do is take my current media collection and go down every single one of the elements and call find on that media item. If it says yes, if it says true, add it to my collection. That's it. So here we go. What do I want to do? I want to be able to go through each individual collection. So let's have a look at this. I don't know the name of my variable names anymore. So that is a private member variable called collection. Okay. That's my current media collection. Okay. So I have this particular collection. I want to be able to get an element. I get the size of it. I think that's a function. Yeah, size is a function. It's going to tell me how big this thing is. Okay, so I'm going to go each element from 0 to and whatever, how many ever numbers or values are, however big the media collection is, one at a time. Pull off the element, or look at the element, check to see if that text to find is in there. And if it is, put it in the new media collection. When I'm done, return the new media collection. Hoping that works. Okay. It should work. So I want to see what the size of this thing is. I'm going to use that at some point. Fine. And so let's use a for loop. Okay, that's the size of my collection. Media. Element I. So this gives me, if you look at get element, it returns a pointer to a media item. I should have this being done in other places as well. Create media field, something with the collection. It's clear, get line. Oh, I'm just adding. Okay. Okay. Extract field name value. That's fine. Okay. I just want to make sure I'm not missing anything overly big. Okay. So for each element, 0 up to size, for each element in my collection, I'm going to get the element from the media collection. I am then going to add it. If then I need to check to see if this to find text right here, I need to see if it's in that particular media item. Okay, so I can say something like p current media. It's a pointer, so I need to use this arrow thingy, and I'm going to say find, and then I'm going to say to find, and then I want to check to see if this, then I want to add it to my collection. So if that's true, make it a bit more explicit, equal to true, then I'm going to found media, add the element. I'm going to add p current media. I'm going to add that to my collection for each one of those. Then return it when I'm done. That's it. I go element by element, check calling find on each one of those things. If it's found, add it. Otherwise, leave it the heck alone. And what I might want to do here is what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to go to here. I'm making a media collection here. Here we go. I've already done it. See if this is going to work for me. ML is for what? What is it? Media library. It's okay. This is the thing I'm going to be searching. This is my media library. Why is it barfing on me here for that? Here's my media library. I got to be missing something in here. Oh, it's finding ML. Oh, it's just returning a full-blown media collection. Oh. See, pointer to a media collection. Pointer to media collection. And then afterwards, I'm going to delete PMC. I'm going to delete my media collection because I made a pointer to it. Okay. I'm going to find it. I'm going to print out the collection again. Get rid of this thing here. Okay. So we're going to look for something to search for. We're going to look for the, because, and then we're going to see what items are in the media collection. Then we're going to look up Jackson, which is what all my examples end up doing, using Jackson, because it hits a bunch of different fields. And I'm going to print out the media collection for that too. Okay, let's find out if it works. Okay, printed a collection found for Jackson. Percy Jackson and the Lightning King. Okay, The Art of Jackson Pollock was found. Right. The Go to F to Sleep, narrated by Samuel L. Jackson, was found. All right. Wait, why weren't other things found? I have The Lord of the Rings with Peter Jackson. I have an album by The National that doesn't have anyone named Jackson, as far as I know. Michael Jackson and the Jackson 5 are also in there. The song "I Want You Back" by the Jackson 5. The artist is the Jackson 5. So why is it that this thing? Why did Percy Jackson get found? And Art Jackson Pollock and the Go to F to Sleep book. Why were those found, but the other ones were not? Does anyone have a hypothesis? Why isn't it working the way you would expect it to work? Well, maybe you might expect it to work, but you would, if you thought about it, maybe you would expect it not to work. So why did it only return those? Yeah, that's exactly right, Maryse. I haven't located those particular child classes. And where are the fields? Oh, Jackson 5 is in, where is it now? I Want You Back by the Jackson 5. The artist is in the Jackson 5. That's not a generic thing. It's not in all the media classes. The director, Peter Jackson, not in all the media classes. The file name or the name of the thing, that's in every one of the media classes. It's in media. So Percy Jackson pops up because of the name here. All of them have the word name. It's in media, but it doesn't pop up in our other two classes, and these other fields are not being read. They're being ignored in the end. If I actually do the output, if I go back here and I go to my output, what do I get? I get this is the Lord of the Rings. There is no word Jackson in there. Why? Because the field was completely ignored. I didn't make that class. Jackson 5, completely ignored. The name of the song is I Want You Back. It's not Jackson 5 present I Want You Back. Right? And so the name itself was in all these media files. So that got picked up for Percy Jackson, but the other ones got ignored. So if I don't have a movie class or if I don't have a music class, I'm not going to pick up all those other things. Each of the child classes needs to implement find. Otherwise, it's going to miss those other fields. The Art of Jackson Pollock, though, if I change that name, let's change. I'm going to change the name to The Art of J. Pollock. The reason I want to do that in the text file, that is, because I want to see if it picks up the other fields. If any of those fields picks up the Art of Jackson Pollock, so if any of these fields picks up that, so it's here, it's in the file path, or it's anywhere along here, it's just going to say it was found in that file. It's not going to tell you where. It doesn't need to tell you where. That's not the requirement that we're giving you. It just have to say like that file returned true for when it was found. Here's me finding Jackson again. Oh, here's the art of Jackson Pollock. This is about about art I don't understand. Oh, wow, there's only one file with the word "the" in it. Would never have guessed that one. Uh, and the capitals versus lowercase. It should have picked up Percy Jackson and the Lightning King, but the was capitalized versus not capitalized. If you wanted to get all cutesy, you can make it so that your find function works on ignores case. You can just make the text you're looking for all caps, all the fields you're looking for all caps, so temporarily while you're doing the comparison, and just return true or not if they match. Case insensitive if I wanted to. Right now they're case sensitive. That's fine. Okay, so let's fix this Percy Jackson thingy and J. Let's see if it finds that field again. Didn't change. The code didn't get changed. And the RJ Paul. Why? Because this is about our because the name in the URL has the word Jackson Pollock in it. Jackson's in the URL name, and we're searching the URL name. If you want examples where you test your code, this would be one of them, right? You have a new field that you didn't have before. Part of my search is in that field and only in that one field. Just to make sure it works as you expect. Try different things. Try different text. Try uppercase and lowercase maybe. See what works and what doesn't work. So I'm hoping that find functionality works for you. With that being said, I have nothing else I wanted to really go over, but I'm more than happy to answer any of your questions that you have. So, what kind of things was there anything that was making you get stuck? If you, by the way, if you have a Mac, if you do not have Windows installed, do so now. Next week's assignment is a 1 week little sprint of an assignment, but it's using MFC, Microsoft Foundation classes, which only work on a Windows machine. Why? Because it was very firmly established. Even when I pushed against it, they're like, no, everyone has to be able to have only a Windows, has to have a Windows access to a Windows machine. So that's the line in the sand that we have. That's why we have that as a particular standard, but you need MFC in order to run the next assignment. And then the assignment after that also uses Microsoft Painting classes. It's not that specific to that, but you should still have that. Can I unpack anything for people? Has anyone actually done the find function already? Yeah. So that was probably very useful in this case. Yay, nice. Yeah, depends on people, it depends on your schedule. It's the risk you're taking on yourself doing things, semi last minute, but at the same time, everyone's grown up, everyone makes those decisions. Some people work under stress better than others, right? I found I do not work under stress very well at all. So I like working weeks in advance if I can. I still end up being stressed, but so, are there any questions that I can unpack polymorphism? We have a whole bunch. We have 4 different kinds of polymorphism that we're dealing with. Shows up on the exam. Uh, Not what is polymorphism, but here is this. Use polymorphism. Use a virtual function, for example. That's a runtime polymorphism. As in, if I put the word virtual, when I call the function at runtime, when I call the function, it goes to a fancy magic lookup table and says, "Hey, where the heck is that function defined?" And it goes, "Oh, it's over there," and you go over to where you think it's defined. Virtual function, using a virtual table. We have casting. We have coercion, so converting data types. Every time we converted from an integer to a double would be casting. We had operation overloading and overloading in general. So I have the same function, you call the right function based off of what parameters it has. And then you have compile time polymorphism. So you search for the in A4 sprite CPP. Yes, but one was capital, one was lowercase. So they had 2 different versions. Yeah. Here's me searching for the. Here's me searching for Jackson. I was wondering whether the wasn't showing up until I realized this Percy Jackson thing is lowercase t. The. I was surprised by that too. I thought I was going to get a whole lot more it was going to knit a whole lot more media files with that. And I could force it to be case insensitive. That would involve doing. Let me see what functions I have here. Media.cpp. Fine. Okay. Is there a match found? Okay, let's see if I can find it. I do a just straight compare. I'm wondering. Equals. Do they not have an equal ignore case? Java definitely does. So it's one of those I have to relearn it each and every time. There are ways of making it so that you ignore whether it's uppercase or lowercase. And one of those things is you can say you can convert the text to all capitals in one, convert the other text all capitals in the other one. So you just get the text, convert to all caps, and then compare. Substring, swap, large, small. Oh man. All right, that sucks. Because just comparing two strings, you would think that they'd make it easier for you, but we're not requiring it to be case insensitive. What? There's no two upper? Oh, come on. Then it wouldn't show up. It wouldn't be caught. It's not exactly the same. The T doesn't match the T uppercase to uppercase. The H doesn't match the H uppercase to uppercase or lowercase to lowercase. Yeah. So it has to exactly match no matter what. For it's a case sensitive search right now. The way to work around it would be to capitalize everything, but for the life of me, I don't know strings to capitalize a string. I would actually make a function to capitalize a string rather than look it up uh, and just convert my string and just capitalize it all. But I'm kind of shocked that they don't have a capitalization string or capitalization function. And match. I am quite shocked that it doesn't have that easily. I would actually take the string and convert it over. So you can easily do character by character, go down the entire string, convert each one of those characters to make it all caps, and then do the comparison afterwards. But, other questions, problems, queries. Yeah, you do not have to do that for this assignment. It would be a fun, quote unquote, fun exercise to do that. It, but yeah, I thought it was two upper, but that's a C? That's for C strings, right? Two find, two upper. But I tried that and maybe I did upper. No, unless it's outside of this thing. Oh yeah, there you go. That's it. No, that's a single character. That's ugly as hell. That's terrible. So yes, you could take your string class or a string object, convert it to a C string, go character by character through your C string, replacing it with uppercase, and then going over it again and then doing the comparison. Oh Jesus. Be a fun practice exercise for the assignment for the exam. The exam 2 is at the end of March. So hey, that's a great practice question if you want more practice. Oh, sounds like an exam question for 1400 soon. Not this term. I already have built that. But... All right. Other questions. The A3 grade. Oh, I found out today. So I talked to the TAs for this class today. One of our TAs, Galen, you can wish him luck or wish him best wishes and speedy recovery. He broke his collarbone. If you can imagine, it's kind of hard to type when you can't lift your arm beyond a certain point because this is in control of that. Your ability to lift your arm is dependent on your collarbone. It hurts like hell, and you really can't do much. So I'm getting him to recover faster. I've given all the work to Alan to grade for the assignments, and then Galen will do more of the exams later. But yeah, it's a slowdown as a result. I hope he gets well soon as well. But we have Alan doing most of the grading. I told him this is a priority because assignment 4 is coming down the pike, and it's yes, the term is actually pike, by the way. The assignment is coming down the pike, and if you don't get ahead of A4, you're gonna have 2 assignments on you on top of you. So yeah, um, he's prioritizing it right now. But he also was moving as well, which during a pandemic, that's a see all the blood, sweat, and tears that your TAs are going through for you guys. Uh, well, it's not that hard. You just open up the files, move them all over. You get into a groove of things pretty well. I just evaluated 170 different art for IMD. They have to put in a portfolio, an art portfolio. I graded 170 of those, and after to see 170 people's files and cover letters, and you get some kind of groove on eventually. Um, yeah, what we were saying today though is Galen. The problem with Galen is he can't shake his fist and scream at you guys with a broken collarbone. That's the issue. We never yell at you guys. All right. Uh, does anyone have anything else they want to go over? More than happy to stay on the line because otherwise I have to deal with screaming kids. But and pate chinois tonight. Anyone that's not Quebecois, you might not what the heck we're talking. Shepherd's pie, uh, just has a fancier name in Quebec, and creamed corn. All right, no questions so far. Not even comments about shepherd's pie. Okay, so with that, everyone, I'm going to stop sharing my screen. This project, all the code is still online. It's automatically synced, so you have all the code we just did today ready for you right now, same as we had last week. So you can look at it anytime you want. And I'm also going to post this video as soon-ish tonight so you can review it if you want. If you really want to relive the magic that was this video, you can rewatch it again. Otherwise, I'm just going to float around Discord for a little bit as well, also working on your assignments. So if you have any questions, please post any questions you have. I want to make sure that you guys feel comfortable with things, especially more than a couple hours before the deadline. That's greatly appreciated. Okay, with that being said, I will talk to everyone later. Thanks.